Well, the loading is taking a little while longer than usual, but hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship on F1 2018. We are just loading in to one-shot qualifying as we speak, and it's round number 12 today here at the Hungaroring. Mid-season point, very high tyre wear circuit, very tight, very twisty, and pretty difficult to overtake at times. So qualifying is going to be all the more crucial. I'm joined here today by a special guest of Danny for a very wet qualifying. Welcome along, Danny. How are you feeling?
Yes, hello there everyone. Yeah, feeling really good. Thank you for having me here. Really excited to see what everyone's going to be able to achieve today. It's going to be a wet one by the looks of things, Toby.
Yeah, it's going to be a wet one. It's going to be pretty tricky. Especially, it's already a very hard circuit. Kind of reminds me of the 2014 race in real life here, as we get ready to go racing and get ready to go see what qualifying is going to be like. And initially, it's Lordjord that's got the best launch off the line. However, he does struggle quite significantly into the first turn, which completely shuffles the order. And a lot of these guys would have been hoping to run some form of a dry setup here today. And this rain, of course, has come in and it's completely washed that all away. So pretty much a level playing field. You can just see how much the grid order is changing constantly throughout this lap. So it is very hard to stay with the leader because it's just constantly changing. And we're only halfway through the lap. But I'm sure, Danny, you can already see some of the challenges that these guys are going to face during the race.
Yeah, at the moment it's raining, but we don't know how the weather's going to change. I mean, it could be going down to the point of where it's tyre management. You know, it might ease off and people may come in for intermediates at some point. We just don't know. So it could all be down to tyre strategy at the end.
It could be, and it's definitely going to be crucial to get a good qualifying position because you can see these guys running through the middle sector. Virtually no opportunities to overtake through here. As Danny Ibn Lahar going all over the curb there, nearly losing his second place on the grid. And it looks like Nibbler could be in for another pole position, but Chazza only managing third right now. Just having a look for some other valuable shout-outs on the grid. Good race, good qualifying so far from Nemesis up in P6, Dougie Aframan P5 as well. Good stuff for the midfield. Come around the final corner then. Is it going to be Nibbler that takes pole position for another time in round 12? Yes, it is. Only just by 0.2 of a second. And Ragnar up there in P3. Chazza only in fourth, Danny.
Yeah, that is really good. It's really close as well. It's going to be interesting to see how everyone pulls off from the grid when this race does get started. It's looking pretty close out there, Toby.
It's going to be pretty good. So let's take a look into the live chat. Say hello to a couple of people. Gareth Lennon, ex-NORL Project Cars racer, in the chat once again. Hello, Gareth. Cheering on the ISR lads today. Those guys, of course, are Dougie Aframan and Galactic Skull 2 and Defstairs. So cheering on those three. We got a Lordjord fan of Simon Jeffries in the chat once again, and you can just see how close Ragnar and Chazza were for the second row of the grid. But after the top four, there's quite a significant gap down to the rest of the guys. So if it stays like this, it could be the top four walking away with it. But very mixed up grid, and of course these guys, Danny, can now start on whichever tyre that they like.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting start from the grid. It looks pretty close from qualifying times. It's interesting to note this circuit's 14 turns. Some people call it the Monaco without the buildings because it's pretty close and it's not much room for overtaking.
Yeah, that's very true. It's also the, I believe it is the oldest purpose-built race circuit in the F1 calendar. So specifically built for Grand Prix racing, and what a track it is. We've had some very good races here in real life over the years, of course. 2014, 2015 and 2016 and 2017 even, all being extremely valuable shout-outs for this track. And we've seen some good esports racing outside of the F1 leagues as well around this track. It does seem to be quite a good circuit, but we'll have to see if NORL can give us another fantastic race as we wait for the drivers to get ready for the grid. But Nibbler starting on pole position is going to be good news for him in the championship, because he does need to gain about 5 points today, Danny, on Chazza to re-overtake him in the championship. Chazza does lead that championship by 5 points after the last round where Nibbler did not attend and Chazza won. But Chazza starting in P4 is a good start.
Here we go. It's the formation lap, I believe. I was looking at the table here. Chaz and Nibbler are very close, 187 points, 183 points. But Danny Ibn Lahar and Anil Tanovic are both on 108 points, so that's pretty close for that third place position.
Yeah, Anil's had a very good season. He's usually the man that goes with an alternate strategy to everybody else as we look through the tyres. We can see that he's on that again on the medium tyres this time. He likes to go long into the race, does Anil. And Ragnar is another driver to keep an eye on because he's just behind him. But Danny Bin Lahar has had a very up and down season. He's not quite been up there with the pace of the Ferraris. He does start second today, but he's definitely one to keep an eye on. But one driver on the ultra soft tyre is Dougie Afra, man.
Interesting strategy. He's going to obviously have a lot more tyre wear earlier on in the race, but he could create some pace in front of people. So it may aid him. We just don't know. I mean, tyre strategy is so important in races these days.
Especially around this track as well. It is a very high tyre wear circuit through this middle sector. I was speaking with some of the racers just before the start of the race, and I spoke to Nemesis, and he said that the tyre overheating that these guys are suffering today is quite significant. So they're going to have to try not only manage the wear on the tyres, but manage the heat of them as well, which means they can't stay too close behind each other. And I've just seen a McLaren and a Haas come together on the formation lap, and them two will be disqualified as we come round to get on the grid.
That's not the best of starts, is it?
No, definitely not. It looked like Kevin Jacobs was weaving to get tyre temp up, and Anil just stuck his nose in, and he just kind of weaved into him as Subaru Ryan disqualified from the session, but he has disconnected as well. So of course he can start. It will likely be his AI taking the start for him, but he can rejoin and take place of his car whenever he has the opportunity. So here we go for 5 red lights for round number 12 of the NORL F1 2018 Championship. It's lights out and away we go, and it looks like Danny Bin Lahar actually got a best start. It's actually an awful start for Nibbler. He's going to be swamped immediately by not only Ragnar, but there is the Sauber on the ultra soft tyres going down the inside. Can he take the lead? No, he can't, but he can make a good move on Ragnar up to P3. Nibbler will try to fight it back though on the outside of Danny Bin Lahar. Has the inside line. It's going to be pretty good. Subaru Ryan does manage to get back. Nibbler retakes the lead in turn 2, but he goes wide, and that's going to allow the Sauber to get involved as well, Danny.
Very, very good start by Danny Bin Lahar there. He's gone very defensive into that corner there.
Oh, we've just lost to Force India. Big crash. Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that. Defstez is out of the race. I just saw him get a huge tank slapper, and he is out on lap 1.
Ouch. It's not the best of starts, unfortunately, for Defstez. He's obviously out, isn't he? But a very good start from Danny Bin Lahar. I was very impressed with the Sauber as well, Ragnar there. Good start off the line.
Chazza working his way through the field, actually getting in a very rough and tumble battle with Nemesis Racing now. Nemesis cut the circuit and has compromised him a little bit. Big lockup from Chazza down the inside. Retakes 5th place. So Chazza's had a really bad start. Look at Nemesis back down the inside immediately. Takes the position back from Chazza. Good old fight for the most experienced driver on the grid.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Ragnar at the moment behind the Dougie Afra man. He's going to be looking for the overtake here. Maybe not on this corner, but maybe later on. Looks like we've got a battle around here.
Chazza goes down the inside into turn number 1 to take P5 away from Nemesis Racing once again. Can the Italian do anything about it to get past the championship leader? Can Nasta do it around the outside if he can? No. Lockup from Chazza will invite him. Yep, big lockup will invite him. But nothing doing. Subaru Ryan disconnects again, so his internet playing havoc today. Ragnar is, as you say, closing in significantly on Dougie Aframan, and the top 4 still surprisingly close together. Lord George Pitts on lap 1. It's a very interesting.
He might have had a bit of damage there, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to imagine that was the case, because obviously that's definitely not a favourable strategy. So Lord George suffering with damage already. Anil Tanovic is battling away with Murcielago through the S-Bends. Murcielago's got an awful run through here. That's going to allow Anil to close right on in, but Anil has no grip on those medium tyres.
Looks like Ragnar just went a little bit wide there on that corner. He's still chasing Dougie Afra, man. Looks like there's a bit of a battle. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide. He's gone back in. The battle's still on for P3 there.
Dougie Aframan has to make the most of these ultra soft tyres as soon as he can, because he's not going to have them for long. Definitely not on a circuit with this much tyre wear. That was a big track extend. You don't want to be doing that too often, because he will be penalised for that. But he needs to get a move on, because these ultra softs are going to be way past their sell-by date by the end of this lap, I think, such as the tyre wear here. quite a lot of gaps. We do have Kevin Jacobs now coming into the pit lane as well. So a man on the medium tyres, that strategy is not working out for the Haas driver whatsoever. Ragnar still pressuring the rear of that Sauber as Anil Tanovic closes in on Murcielago as well.
Oh, here we go. P4 for P3. Ragnar really pushing. He's gone for the overtake. He's not going to make it until going into the corner. He's holding back. Battle for P3 still continues.
That it does. We come through the slow and steady S-bend section, so there won't be any overtaking opportunities going on there for the meanwhile. Now, Kevin Jacobs and Lordjord are beginning a battle of their own coming into turn 2, and it's going to be Lordjord trying to take the move around the outside of Kevin Jacobs. Now, that's not going to be a move that Kevin Jacobs will allow to happen lightly, and it's going to be very tough. We also have a very close gap between Ragnar and the Sauber of Dougie Aframan, so battle's going on so far. Lordjord does finally get the move made, but now the Ferrari's getting involved in this battle, Danny.
Yeah, no, it's looking good. There's battles all going on over the place here. Going back to Lordjord, he just went for the overtake from Kevin Jacobs, but he lost it on the exit of that corner there. He just lost a little bit of grip. So Kevin Jacobs will be taking P11 there.
Ragnar goes around the outside of Dougie Aframan for P4. Can Dougie Aframan send it up the inside? He tries to, but is caught out and pinched up against the curb. That's going to allow the Ferrari of Chazza to get involved in the information and is going to try to take the move around the outside, but P4 does get it. Dougie Aframan went for a trip over the grass there, and like I said, very much past a sell-by date, these tyres of the Ultrasoft. Just the understeer that the Sauber has. There's no chance the Aframan could hold off for much longer. Meanwhile, Anil Tanovic has managed to close in and pass Murcielago on the soft tyre, so great driving by the McLaren driver.
Yeah, Dougie Aframan, he's losing pace. He's P5 now. I think he's going to have to start reviewing his tyre strategy and looking about what's the best tyre in terms of endurance for the remainder of this race. Murcielago's
had a spin. Galactic Skull 2 narrowly avoids him. The Red Bull gets back under his way, but now his teammate, I'm not sure if it's his teammate or his teammate's AI, I'm not sure if Subaru Ryan's managed to rejoin, is closing in on him, so it'll be interesting to see how Red Bull handle the decision of if they let Subaru go, but it was just a spin from Murcielago, so he could get back on the pace and get going again, but he was trying very hard not to lose the rear of Anil Tanovic, was the Red Bull driver. So the gaps have opened up a little bit as we approach lap 5. Now, the interesting thing is Dougie Aframan has elected to stay out for another lap. He's on the softest tyre of anybody, so he's going to be the first to pit. So when he starts to pit is when we will get an idea of everybody else's pit stop strategy. But right now, Chazza is closing in on Ragnar, and Ragnar's closing in on Danny.
Yeah, it's looking good up there. I'm just on board with Nemesis Racing. It's P6. He could be catching Dougie Aframan P5. Be interested to see what Dougie Aframan goes in terms of tyre selection. I'm going to be probably guessing the softs.
Yeah, it could be a soft strategy unless he wants to go to the end of the race, then he's going to have to chuck a pair of mediums on. But we're seeing that Anil Tanovic is the highest placing medium driver, and he's only in P7, and he's not exactly gaining, so it doesn't look like the mediums have much pace. It's going to have to be an interesting strategy. We could even see a two-stop race for the first time we've seen in a long time this season.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like I say, the tyre wear on this track is particularly high. The track itself is in a valley, and what I've spoken to a few drivers in the past, you get a lot of dust on the track. So yeah, it may well be a two-stop strategy. I can see that happening.
Chazza has closed right on in on Ragnar at the end of this lap, and it's going to be very close. Ragnar does have DRS to help him. Dougie Aframan does finally get off them ultra-soft tyres, but Ragnar's gaining on Danny. Danny's trying to hold him off. A potential move, no, nothing doing at the moment, but Chazza's gone for the switchback ultimately on Ragnar. Now these two both have DRS, so it's even Stevens. It's whoever's deploying their battery more. Ragnar gives him just enough room, but another switchback coming from Chazza now, and it's going to be on the outside for this corner, not going to make it around there. No way, Jose. And Ragnar survives for now, but good battle starting for the championship leader. Galactic Skull 2, by the way, has just completely sent it up the inside of the Red Bull and got the move done.
Yeah, I'm on board with Chazza at the moment, P4. Good battle going on here. I'm impressing Ragnar's defensive driving style there. He's caused Chazza to go on wide. But yeah, it's looking like a good battle so far.
Great little battle, by the way, going on between Murcielago and Galactic Skull 2. Murcielago does get the move done on Galactic Skull 2 and retakes P7 from the Scottish driver. And meanwhile, as that Dougie Aframan has come back out on another set of ultra soft tyres. Now that's a very interesting strategy, and the most he's going to get is another 6 laps out of those tyres, so maybe even a free stop.
Toby, me and you were both saying he could have been on the softs, but I wasn't expecting the ultras there. He's definitely going to be looking at a 2-stop strategy for this race. It may have been a logistical error, we'll never know, but that's a very interesting tyre selection.
Ragnar's just got the move done for P2 ahead of Danny Ibn Lahar. Sent it down the inside with the aid of DRS. Takes P2 away from his compatriot. And now he will fierce the wrath of the bright scarlet red Ferrari behind him. Good little battle this for the podium positions. Now, it's very interesting because Chazza has a lot more to lose here than the guys in front of him, but at the same time, his championship rival is gaining a lot of points on him at this stage in the race. Nibbler's checked out. He's 3.9 seconds of the road from Ragnar. He's checked out, as he so often does in this series. Ragnar is leading this pack, but it's Chazza who really needs to get a move on.
Yeah, Chaz is racing quite aggressively. He knows he needs to get himself up the pack, Toby. Like I say, it's a good battle going on for P3, P2. Be interested to see how this develops.
It is very interesting that Chaz are usually up there leading the pack with Nibbler. Now it does look interesting that it looks like Nibbler is by far the stronger Ferrari driver this weekend, and Chaz are really struggling to get a handle on his teammate. But he's going to get DRS on Danny Ibn Lahar, and it looks like it's going to be a sure thing down the inside. A bit of DRS and ERS to go with it. Easy move, you'd think, but Danny holding it impressively on the outside. But Chazza will get the second bite of the cherry to pull away from him down into turn 3. Unless anything chaotic comes from Danny, no, Chazza does get the move complete. P3 for the Ferrari.
Yeah, good racing by Chazza there. He waited for the right moment, got into the slipstream, and it was a pretty standard overtake, no issues there at all. He's definitely fighting through the rest of the pack. Ragnar looks like he's in his sights now for that P2.
I believe I've just witnessed a synchronised swimming tactic from the Sauber team. We've seen that many times this season, where the slower driver lets the faster one through, and this time it's Galactic Skull 2 moving out the way on the mediums to let his ultra-soft speeding driver of Dougie Aframan through on that occasion. Now, Dougie Aframan is gaining a lot on Murcielago, albeit he's gaining time off the circuit, so he's going to have to reel it in a little bit, or he will likely face a penalty. But he is gaining on that 7-lap-old tyre of Murcielago pretty quick, so I suspect to see a move from the Sauber within the next few laps. Now, an interesting thing is Defstez did retire, obviously, but no Callum Spencer here either, so no points for Force India this weekend, which will likely drop Callum Spencer down a position in the championship to Dougie Aframan. And Defstez will likely... Actually, no, Defstez will be fine because Seppi or Beamer Black aren't here either. But I believe this Sauber's not going to be behind this Red Bull for much longer.
Yeah, Toby, it's you know what, one thing I like about the Nemesis on Racing League is the sportsmanship. Like you say, Sauber there working as a team. I think that's crucial in getting maximum points, working together. It really does help in terms of your racing standings and where you finish.
Yeah, we've seen these two, both Scottish drivers, of course. Both have raced in many leagues together as over the years, but yeah, definitely working together to allow the driver with the best opportunity to go for those opportunities. And this time it is Dougie Aframan pressuring the Red Bull. He's right behind him, but he's understeering so much. It's like he's running a low downforce setup. It's quite interesting, actually. You just ride on board with Dougie Aframan, as Murcielago does actually pop up the circuit a little bit more, so there's a little bit of rubber banding going on here. Just checking back in the chat again, we have Mark1607. Welcome, Mark. Of course, your reigning NORL FIA GT3 champion, crowned a few weeks ago. Recently got picked up by the team TBD Esport as well, so congratulations on that, Mark, and welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying. But Dougie Aframan really pushing these track limits, and I'm going to be surprised if he's not very close to a penalty. But it just looks like he's got no front-end grip. He's just understeering at every corner.
Yeah, I'm watching this as well on board, Toby. He seems like he's pushing the car a little bit too much for what his car setup is allowing him to do. That back end just come out a little bit there as well. Be interesting to see what setup he's got. Toby, I've been following Chazza in P3. He is really fighting to get into that P2. I've seen him, he's been quite aggressive, a few lockups, but he's He's still got Ragnar in his sight for that P2.
So it could still be a Scarlet Ferrari 1-2. Kevin Jacobs moves up into the points ahead of Subaru Ryan, or Subaru Ryan's AI is what I suspect. Lord Job will likely catch him next and pass him and put the AI down into last place. But just speaking of which, I've just noticed on my timing screen that Nibbler's actually lost a full second to Ragnar somewhere along the course of the last few laps. Now, I don't know if Nibbler's just tyre managing or he has been making some mistakes. It's hard to tell when you have a guy like Nibbler in the lead who's capable of obviously managing his tyres very well, or he could just be genuinely making mistakes. Really hard to tell, but the gaps are starting to open up quite significantly now, and it's just waiting to see who's going to be the first to pit. Obviously, that's not on the ultra soft tyres.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what tyres people come out with. At the moment, the P1 to P4 are all on, P1 to P5 are all on 10 laps of their tyre wear. Nibbler could be managing his tyre and engine efficiently, hence why we've seen that drop of pace. That could be, it could be his strategy there, Toby.
You do see Dougie Aframan then only managed 4 laps this time on the ultra soft tyre, so I don't think we'll see the ultra softs again. They're just not viable, are they? They're just overheating so quick, and that's where he's getting this understeer from. And he's had to cut his stint short by 2 laps just to get off them. Releases his teammate. What tyres is it going to be from the Sauber team? Is that another pair of ultra softs? No, it's not. Sorry, it's a tyre glitch. It looks like. And they're putting a new front wing on as well. So that could be where the understeers come from. Or is that ultra softs? I think it is ultra softs. Is that 3 in a row?
Very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed by Doug Aframan there. Ultra softs, I can see why drivers would start with them. On this track, to get that pace and to build up some pace. However, to go on ultra softs for the second time, I don't think that was the key strategy here. I would have come out on softs or mediums for that, for the duration of the race. Yeah,
I'm not sure what the situation is down at Sauber. I'm not sure if that was a planned switch to the ultras or if the game's just giving him a little bit of a pain. Because when I saw the pit crew putting the tyres on, I said there was a tyre glitch. It's because the pit crew put the tyres on and momentarily flashed to the yellow stripe soft compound tyres and then went back to being ultras. So could be a case of the game is not giving him what he wants. However, Chazza has caught Ragnar and is starting to apply the pressure onto him. Both of these guys on the same compounded tyre, same age of tyre. And, oh, that's Nibbler off! Nibbler's off! He's had a spin, and he drops down to P3, so it was a mistake from Nibbler that dropped the second. He makes another one. Ragnar leads.
Wow, did not see that coming. I wasn't on board with Nibbler at the time, so I don't know where that mistake's come from. He could have lost a little bit of grip going into one of the corners at the S-bends.
Oh my goodness. Well, Nibbler has just blown this race wide open, and Ragnar leads, and he's got to hold off 2 prancing horses of Ferraris who look very, very hungry in his rearview mirrors. Now, Nibbler, we know, is more comfortable. We know he's got the better pace, but his teammate pits. Wow.
Interesting. He's pitted. I reckon he would have had DRS there for the overtaking to P1, but sensible thinking. He's like, no, get me tyres on, I'll get him again. Because Ragnar still has to come in.
Yeah, this is probably the best opportunity. It looks like it's a one-stop strategy from Ferrari as the medium tyres do go on. But it's a very good opportunity for Chazza because his main rival for the race win just spun on that lap. He's not going to get a better in-lap than that. And now it's down to Nibbler to chase down Ragnar. Clearly, Chazza was struggling to pass the... by the way, Anil Tanovic just gets out in front of Chazza. That's not what Chazza will have wanted. Yeah, Chazza would have wanted to be ahead of him for clean air. Now that's just made Chazza's job all the harder to get a good outlap. But Nibbler is going to have to see if he could get past Ragnar, because of course we just saw several laps of his teammate not being able to. And it looks like it is a very hard track to overtake on for that reason.
Yeah, this is all exciting stuff happening at the front of the pack here. Ragnar obviously P1 for the time being, but I don't know how long he's going to hold on for it, because Nibbler is he's after him. He's definitely got Ragnar in his sights, and he's pushing.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what that mistake was. It didn't look like it was too big of a spin. He got away with no damage. But it obviously, as a driver, as you all well know, you'll make a small mistake like Nibbler does pit, by the way, goes for the undercut. Danny follows him in. So a lot of guys, oh, and Nibbler picks up a 5-second stop go, speeding in the pit lane. That's just made his afternoon a lot harder to beat Ragnar or Chazza. Danny doesn't get a penalty either, so he could be in the fray when it comes to the end of it. Now, we've seen the Ferraris get these penalties before, but they don't serve them in the pit stop. They go to the end and just add them to the timing. So, very interesting. This is Chazza, by the way, overtaking Aneltanovic, going down the front start finish straight. Is Chazza going to be anywhere close to his teammate? He's going to come out just behind him, and he will have DRS. Chazza will have DRS on his teammate, thanks to that battle with Aneltanovic. Now, is the Ferrari going to let the other one go, or are these two going to battle Mercedes-style dogfighting? Into turn 3 we go. Chazza trying to go around the outside. It'll give him the inside for the next corner if he can do it. No, he can't. Pulls behind and has to sit behind his teammate for a few more corners for the next opportunity, but it's gloves off.
Wow, what an exciting exit to the pit lane there for Chazza. I was expecting Libby to let him through, but, you know, we all know from the days of Hamilton and Rosberg, their egos get too big and they just want that P1. They want to finish first. In a way, it's good, but sometimes we've got to work together as a team, so it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out, Toby.
Yeah, it's interesting because you've got to remember these two are both battling for the championship. These two are both the championship favourites. So all these points do count here today, of course. Nibbler needs to find 5 points on his teammate after that no-show last week. This is the opportunity to find those 5 points as we come into the final sector. Chazza pressuring his teammate. Ragnar comes into the pits then. This will be interesting. Where will Ragnar feed out amongst this battle as the two Ferraris go at it hammer and tong down the start-finish straight? Where they're going to come out in retrospect to Ragnar. Ragnar's getting to the pit line. Now he releases the pit lane speed limiter. Out they come, and they're both going to get him. It's a fantastic outlap from the Ferraris. They've both undercutted Ragnar. He stayed out a lap too long, and he goes down to P3. And he's had a spin.
Ragnar's lost it. He's spun out. He's too much acceleration on the pit lane exit there. He's been hit. Daniel Blinderhar's got into the side of Ragnar there. Ragnar's off the track.
Ragnar has damage.
Yeah, he's got light wing damage yet. You can tell he's got understeer. Well, yeah, Ragnar's race completely ruined. He's got to go back in the pits, Toby.
Wow, this race is throwing up things everywhere. By the way, Nemesis Racing leads yet to pit, and he is now going to hold up the Ferrari. So how is the Haas going to affect this battle? Because Nibbler has passed Chazza, by the way. Sorry, no, he hasn't, because he came out ahead of him. I do apologise. But Nibbler is looking for a way past Nemesis as quickly as possible, because that's allowing Chazza to close up. Chazza looking up the inside. Nothing doing on this opportunity. Nemesis is defending as well, so he's not just going to let the Ferraris through. Chazza looks to the inside. Nibbler trying to go all the way around the outside, half spins, Tokyo drift around the final sector, holds on to P2. What a drift from the Aussie, and he'll now get DRS on Nemesis, which will effectively negate Chazza's DRS on himself. So a little bit of pain relief for that drifting show, but he needs to get past Nemesis and preferably put a car between himself and Chazza, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Danny Rick dive bomb up the inside, but is Nemesis just going to simply cut back? Yes, he is. And this old man has got a thing to say, a thing or two to teach the Ferraris. And, is he going to get involved in this? Because Chazza goes on the inside. Yes, Ferraris are through.
Wow. Just about got that. Great bit of racing there. Aussie, oi, 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 I believe the saying is, Toby. What a great bit of racing from the Ferraris. Nemesis racing there, you can't fault him. He's a brilliant driver. He just went defensive, but the Ferraris just had that extra bit more pace. And you've got to remember, they're both on fresh tyres, so it was inevitable that they're going to regain P1 there, Nibbler.
So, the Saubers are in the pit lane, and Dougie Aframan is making his 4th stop of the day. Now, what is the tyres going to be this time? Is he going to finally give up on the Ultras? He's serving a penalty by the looks of it. We said he'd be pushing penalties based on how much he was corner cutting and track extending. But are they finally, soft tyres go on the Sauber? Finally, I think he might have just run out of Ultra Softs, to be honest, of how many times he put them on. But he finally decides to go on now. But I think he's kind of ruined his race with, 4 pit stops already? That's insane. Nemesis does finally pit. Be interesting to see where he feeds back out. Nibbler sets the fastest lap of the race as his teammate tries to chase him down.
Yeah, Toby, I'm just on board with Galactic Skulls. I don't know if he's picked up any damage, but looks like there's a lot of understeer. He's lost the last few corners, locked up a few times as well, and he's gone off. Don't know if we've missed anything here, but he looks like he's got some damage.
Danny Bin Lahar going up the inside of Anel Tanovic for third place on the podium. Of course, Anel Tanovic yet to pit. He's an absolute maestro when it comes to managing his tyres. 16 laps on these mediums, and once Murcielago leaves the pit lane, he will be the man who has been the longest on his tyres. He's so good at managing these tyres. He could probably take these, I'd even bet he could take these to about lap 25 if he so wished and just come out on some ultras or something. He's an absolute maestro, effectively the Sergio Perez of this league when it comes to managing his tyres. But it's got him up in 4th place once again. And he's not losing too much time to Danny, considering Danny's on brand new sauce. That's interesting, actually. Danny on brand new sauce. Everyone else has come out on the mediums. So, interesting strategy from Renault, gone alternate to what everyone else is doing. Subaru Ryan pits.
Yeah, tyre strategy, Toby, is so important. I've been watching a few of these races the last few weeks, and what it's come down to in terms of the P3, P4, P5, P6 and the rest of the pack is tyre management. Of course, Nibali and Chazza have got that extra pace, but tyre management and pit strategy has been really key.
Yeah, I spoke to some of the Ferrari guys. I think I heard them say they do insane amounts of practice before these races. I'm pretty sure these two get together in a lobby and do an 100% race before every race weekend, just to get the tyre strategies perfect, to get their driving flow perfect. And I was speaking to Nibali after he famously crashed out on lap 1 of Monaco this season. He actually did an 100% race and made no mistakes before that, only to crash out on the first lap of the real thing. So it just shows you how much pressure can either turn you into a diamond or just completely crush you. But these boys are coming up to lap Lord Jord, I think, so that could be a spanner in the works for the Ferrari battle.
Yeah, it's insane how much practice these two put in. I have heard also through the grapevine, Toby, these two do practice, and that's very good for Lord Jordan to let them in, let them through, nice and easy. Like I say, sportsmanship there is key, and that's what's so appealing about this racing league.
Chazza has just got one hell of a run out of the final corner on Nibali. He's going to gain a lot down the front start-finish straight. Might be in the fray to an attempt to move into turn 3 if he can get a good exit. Definitely going to get the DRS. But it looks like Nibali just got the better exit going into turn 3, so Nibali will survive for another day. But Chazza eager not to let his teammate get away. However, Nibali has looked more comfortable this race, and he's got a lap younger tyres. So it is advantage Australia, but the Brit eager to do something about not forfeiting his championship lead here today.
I think with Chazza at the moment, he just needs to maintain the pace. If he has a chance and opportunity, yeah, go for P1. But don't be too aggressive, because any slight mistake on any of these corners, he could be losing to P3, P4. He's just got to maintain his pace, not try too hard, and obviously look for that opportunity to present itself.
Destes in the chat after his crash saying that he saw the Dougie pit stop. It wasn't a penalty being served by Dougie Aframan. It was a case of the two Saubers pitted too close together, and the team didn't have Dougie Aframan's tyres ready for him. So the Saubers, although they've worked together on the track, have actually compromised each other when it comes to pitting. So them guys are looking to pick up the final scraps of the points today. Not a great day for Sauber by any means. They've had a lot better days. Considering Dougie Aframan was in P3 on about lap 4-5, it's really gone downhill for him. But Chazza is closer to Nibali than he's been for some time, within 3 tenths, now brings it within 2 tenths. Gaining, but nothing through here. There's no opportunities now, not through this corner, but there might be one in the next, but he's not quite close enough. His next opportunity will be the chicane. But we've seen Ferrari do this before. They run in perfect harmony, 1 and 2. They pull out the gap necessary to, if they need to make a mistake, if they need to make an extra stop, if they come together, they have the gap to not concede a position about it. So we'll see these guys. My prediction is we'll see these guys run like this for the next few laps. Once we get to about lap 30, the gloves will come off and they will go toe-to-toe.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Toby. They're very efficient, aren't they? Synchronised swimmers, they remind me of. Very tactical, and they very much work together as a team. A pack of sharks, if you like.
The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. So these guys really doing the work for Ferrari here today really well. Really good teammates, a lot of history between them. Of course, Nibbler, very experienced in this league. Chazza is as well. And a shout out to Chazza. Serious improvement over the last couple of seasons of NORL. Used to be a midfield runner back in the day when I used to race in this series. Used to be in about the midfield, had a few battles with him myself, but he's just got so much dedication and put the work in so much. He's now running at the front with Nibbler. It's a great effort, great success story, and he's here trying to get another win today. If I just look at the standings, this would be his 4th win of the season if he can pull it off. Equally, how impressive is this? This could be Nibbler's 7th win of the season. So really dominant season all the way by Ferrari, and just Danny Ibn Lahar, like I say, best of the rest once again, but I'm sure he'll want to be a bit more than just known as best of the rest.
No, Danny Ibn Lahar has got a lot to offer the league, and he can only get better. He's been really racing really well the last few weeks, and he's improved greatly, so I can only see good things happening from Danny. But Toby, I want to speak about Ragnar 184 and what could have been. I mean, it's not the end of the race yet, but he had P1 at one point, and if it wasn't for that unfortunate lack of grip on the exit of the pit lane, you know, he could well be sitting in P3, P4.
Yeah, that's very true. He did kind of throw a spanner in his own race. Just got a little bit too excited, perhaps underestimated the lack of grip on going onto the mediums for the first time. And it is the mediums, I could say, from experience, they're like driving on ice compared to driving on the ultra softs or the softs, you know. They have no grip whatsoever.
He had no time to warm up the tyres, and he obviously firmed up the driving acceleration. He's obviously seen Nibbler and Chaz, and he's wanted to get to them. And it's a bit. You get tunnel vision sometimes, you know. And everyone has it. Everyone who races knows how that feels. You see them, you want to get to the front of the pack, and sometimes you forget the little things. In this case, Ragnar has underestimated the lack of grip in those tyres.
So Kevin Jacobs pits, an impressive stint by the Haas, 19 laps on the soft compound tyre. Really impressive stuff from Kevin Jacobs. Now, I do feel he'll lose a lot of time though, and he will probably come back out fighting Dougie Afroman. Probably not actually, he's going to come out ahead of Dougie Afroman. But impressive stint on the soft compound tyres from Kevin Jacobs, another driver who's always striving for improvement, so good to see him up there again today. Anil Tanovic now on 21 laps on the mediums, like we said. Absolute maestro of guiding these tyres. However, losing time, hand over fist to Ragnar, as expected. But it'll be interesting to see towards the end of the race where this puts Anil Tanovic in terms of the pit stops.
Well, you'd like to think, Toby, Anil Tanovic's going to have to come in for another set of tyres. I mean, he's running on 21 laps at the moment. He's going to have to come back in.
Is that yellow flag in sector 2? It is. That is a Red Bull Murcielago making a spin. And Galactic Skull 2 again only just avoided him. So that's Murcielago's second spin of the day. And that's been the second close call of the day for Galactic Skull 2. So, and another driver struggling on the medium tyres then, just showing you how tricky these are. Now, I was just watching during the case of that, Nibbler and Chazza got super close. The closest they've been all race. Chazza definitely had the opportunity to go up the inside of Nibbler, but didn't. So that does reinforce my point. These guys are running efficiency mode now, just to gain that gap on Danny in case anything does happen. Working, one punching the hole through the air, the other following. Ragnar has caught Anil Tanovic in there. Let's take a look and see how long it'll take the Toro Rosso to get past the McLaren.
Yeah, just on board with Danny in the heart. I mean, looking at it now, there's 9 second gap between him and Nibbler. So yeah, there is that sociable gap there at the moment. Nibbler and Chaz have created as a team. It looks like Danny Rindo's got a little bit of traffic from people at the back of the pack, just trying to work out who's out in front of him.
The lapped Lord George earlier on, so depending on where they are on the track, I think it's Dougie Afroman will be the next one they come up to lap. But that is... Wow, okay. Anil Tanovic went very wide at the last corner and Ragnar went even wider. So these two definitely starting to go at it. Ragnar gaining a lot down the front side. He does have DRS, but Anil Tanovic has, if you look on his dashboard, Anil Tanovic has got almost a full battery that he's using to defend here. And Anil is such, he reminds me of Alan Prost. He's such a technical thinker in his strategy. He just knows the best ways. He manages his tyres well, and he's known during that tyre management phase he can use he can use that battery charging phase to defend against Ragnar's DRS and effectively negate the effects of it and keep him out in front of Ragnar for as long as possible. And you can see through this whole S-bend sector, he just turns it off. He turns its deployment off and just harvests and gets a full battery, whereas Ragnar's only on half a battery and still deploying.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, time management, pit stop strategy is key, but ERS deployment is also a massive key part of races, especially here in the NORL league.
Definitely, and Anil Tanovic has all but mastered it, as you can see on his dash once again, almost a full battery for Anil Tanovic. You watch, once we come around this corner, he will switch that up into overtake mode, and he will just blast down the straight, and poor little Ragnar's DRS won't feel that effective, but Ragnar's closer than he's been in a long time. He's got the slipstream this time, that's going to help him. Anil to the inside, Ragnar's got to do it the long way. It's going to be a long way around that outside, because Anil actually switches back, but Ragnar's just got the grip and gets up into P4.
Great move by Ragnar there. It's a really good move. Like you say, DRS has really helped him out there. Very good move from the outside. He had a lot of work to do, but he held the grip and he's come out well into P4. It
was inevitable in the end, but Ragnar will want to get that job done as soon as possible. Got it done. 14 lap older tyres, just for comparison, on Anil Tanovic's car than it is Ragnar's. So good stint by Anil, and Anil's not giving up. He's still hanging to the back of the Toro Rosso. Chazza within 2/10 of a second, by the way, on Nibbler. Look how close Chazza is on the final corner. Is the Ferrari about to have a go? Now, this could be Chazza's best opportunity, and look at that, he pulls out of the slipstream. I'm not sure why he pulled out the slipstream there. That's very interesting. Is that a technicality there to try and negate any effect on his teammate? And it's kind of it's very good, it's very efficient, but it kind of puts us here in the commentary box a little bit on edge, because we're like, is there going to be a lead change here? Are they just working together again? But it looks like, yeah, no, that reinforces my point. Anil Tanovic does pit. What a stint that's been. What was that going to be, 25 laps as he crosses the line on the medium tyres? What a stint by Anil Tanovic.
Fair play to him. He's managed his tyres well. He seems to be a tactician out there, which is something which is good to see. He's on the ultras now for the last stint of the race, so yeah, he'll probably try and get some pace up here as well. And you never know, he might be able to take P4 back from Ragnar.
He's going to come out in a very comfortable P6, but yeah, he's going to have to do some. We saw Dougie Afterman could only manage. Yeah, we saw Dougie Afterman could only manage 6 laps on the Ultrasoft, so he's going to have to do some management somewhere along the line as well. He's got about 9 laps on those tyres, so there's going to be some management involved. Now, it'll be interesting to see if he manages earlier on to get them under control, or if he decides to push earlier on. Either way, there will be some management involved. Now, Chazza gaining on Nibbler again, but doesn't look like he's interested in making a move just yet. And now, they have been efficient. They've got themselves a 12-second effectively gap to Danny Ibn Lahar. But given that, he's running out of time, Chazza. If he wants to go toe-to-toe with Nibbler, he's going to have to give himself as many laps as possible, because he's got to get it right. Just like real-life racing, like we see in real F1 so much, once you try something out of the blue, Nibbler ahead is going to, and if Nibbler survives that move, Nibbler's going to know exactly what you're going to do every single lap, and he's going to know how to defend that every single lap. So Chazza's got a little bit of time to think about it, and he's got to, for the next few laps, he's got to analyse his teammate, find out where the overtaking opportunity is, and I'd likely say it's going to have to be one of the DRS zones, because these guys are too evenly matched in the corners. But if Chazza can just get a good exit off the final corner, that would be the best, because he does get 2 DRS zones for the price of 1 there. So it's going to have to be turn 1 preferably for the Brit. We'll see if he goes now.
Like you say, it's going to come down to DRS. Nibbler and Chazza, they're practicing day in, day out. At the end of the day, they're a very effective team. They know their tactics, you know. So this is the problem. When you're infighting as a team, you already know what you're going to do in a way. That's why you need to come and surprise your opponent. It's not like you're racing, for instance, Ragnar or Nemesis, because they're different teams. Because you're within the same team, it's very difficult to keep tactics a secret because you're practicing so much.
So Danny pits then from P3. It's be interesting. This will promote Ragnar. think this would promote Ragnar into the podium positions, but Danny's going to come out on a... Wow, that's wide from Ragnar. Danny's going to come out on the Ultra Soft, so...
It's going to be close, but I think Ragnar's just about got it. Yeah.
Nemesis is going to get P4 as well. So Danny down to P5, but he's right behind Nemesis on brand new Ultras, and I think he's going to take the position right back immediately, isn't he? Look at the grip he's got coming up alongside Nemesis Racing. He's going to have to go around the outside. Job done before we even get to the braking zone is the difference.
Just noticed Anil Tanovic has got the fastest lap of 119 there.
Yeah, I saw that. Anil is... so that answers the question. Who's going to get the best out of the Ultrasofts in the first phase of his stint? Now, I get the feeling that might get under Ferrari's skin a little bit. I think they would have enjoyed the fastest lap as well here today. Just watching Kevin Jacobs has found himself right behind Galactic Skull 2. And these two are about to go hammer and tongue at it as well. Of course, these guys have fought many times this season in the FIA GT3 series of NORL. Over on Project Cars 2, so a rivalry resumed between these two, and we'll have to see. Oh, that's wide. That's very wide. You don't want to be out on that stuff. No grip.
No, Kevin Jacobs could have lost a little bit of grip there. I think he was pushing a little bit too hard. If I was Kevin Jacobs, I would have held back a little bit and waited for one of the straights, possibly after the grid with that DRS, and then I would have striked. But it looks like he's just pushing a little bit too hard.
Yeah, he's got 6 laps left. He's got a lot of opportunities left, and his tyres, as you can see on the screen on your left, are half the age. By the way, Danny Ibn Lahar is going up the inside of the Ragnar for the podium position, and look at the difference in grip. Not even a contest for Danny. Up the inside, takes P3 back. What a move by the Renault, and that shows you how powerful these Ultrasofts are, and maybe they are just worth that extra pit stop at the end, because he's just left him for chips, really. There's no chance Ragnar's coming back from that one, and we'll have to see if Anil can catch Nemesis up ahead. He's got about 10 seconds to find in 6 laps. It is possible, he's the fastest man on track, but we'll have to see. But yeah, just going back to Kevin really quick, he does have tyres that are half the age of Galactic Skull 2, so he should be able to come back. Nibbler has just gone super wide out the final corner.
Yeah, watching Nibbler now. Nibbler, he's got 16, he's got an extra lap of tyre in him as well, so he is going to have that extra grip. It all makes the difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Nibbler would have been way further up the road if he didn't have the spin here today. And it's kind of worked out for Ferrari a little bit, Nibbler's spin, because he's been able to offer slipstream to his teammate and pull him with them. And now, I think, is the time. These guys can go. Danny sets the fastest lap of the race on them new Ultras. But these guys, I think it's time these guys go hammer and tong together. So they've got 30 seconds to the car behind. It's time for these guys to Royal Rumble. And where will we see it? Can Chazza contend with the lap older tyres? He's analysed his teammate for long and says, is that Nemesis passing Ragnar? Is Nemesis going after Ragnar for 4th place? That's something I wasn't expecting. Ragnar's had a spin somewhere because he was a good 5 seconds up the road from Nemesis, and it's brought him into the clutches of the more experienced driver. Actually, these guys have both been in here for a long time, but Nemesis has been racing in the NORL since F1 2010, just for a little bit of a perspective for you here today. So he's been there, he's been to this track many times, and it's 2 Italians going at it for P4. Kevin Jacobs does pass Galactic Skull 2, does he? Just, I think Galactic Skull might come back at him here, but I think he's got it with the help of DRS.
Yeah, there's a little battle going on there between Ragnar and Nemesis. You've got to quick give it to Nemesis, though. He's been racing a long while, he's very experienced. He'll probably look to try and take Ragnar, and probably lap 33, lap 34. He's probably just going to reserve himself, hold back, wait for those DRS zones which are going to be coming up just as we go around the straight here on the grid. So it'll be interesting to see what happens going into turn 1.
Yep, these 2 ex-teammates last season. Remember, both these guys drove for Renault, I believe it was, so they know each other very well. This season they find themselves in separate teams. We'll have to see how they can do it, and he's going to have to go around the outside, but Ragnar actually brakes really late. Switch back, into the side. Oh, he's lost his wing again.
It's just not Ragnar's day, is it, Toby?
That's just made Anil Tanovic's life a lot easier, I can tell you that, because he's only a few seconds down the road, and even, I don't think Ragnar will pit. I think he'll just stick it out for 4 laps. But Ragnar's going to catch him hand over fist. Just looking for any other battles on the circuit. Chaz is still half a second behind, nothing to offer against Nibbler at the moment. Galactic Skull 2 is in DRS currently, going up into turn 1, closing the gap down to 4/10 of a second. We'll get the second bite of the cherry going for turn 3 this time around. Is he going to go anywhere with it? He's going to have to do a very late braking maneuver if he wants to. No, he's just going to stay behind. Wise decision from Galactic Skull 2. But you kind of feel with 15-lap-old tyres versus 9-lap-old, it's going to be tough for the Scotsman to get past the American.
Yeah, tell you what, Toby, going back to Nemesis Racing, experience is key there. As I was saying, going past the grid, he's held back, he's put pressure on Ragnar. Ragnar's gone defensive, felt obviously pressure from Nemesis behind, and Nemesis has easily gone past, and that's experience talking there on the track. Good racing all round from Nemesis.
Ragnar does pit then. Free position for Ragnar.
Yeah, he suffered substantial damage there to his winger. Sensible decision. He knows he's not going to get a podium finish.
What could have been for Ragnar here today? He'll be biting himself when he goes to sleep tonight, I'm sure.
It's a shame. Ragnar, he's a very, very good racer. He's just been a little bit aggressive and a little bit hot-headed. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. It's just an experience. He'll get that in time. He's a very good racer, and he'll only improve in the future.
Oh yeah, no, Ragnar has. Yeah, Ragnar is. I think if we was to compare him to a driver this season, I'd have to say Max Verstappen. He's been very aggressive this season.
I couldn't agree more with you there, Toby. Yeah, Max Verstappen all the way.
Nibbler is going after. Sorry, Chaz is going after Nibbler. 2/10 of a second. Are these guys finally getting into it? Nothing doing for Chazza. But I think they are going at it. But I just don't think Chazza has the grip.
No, I don't. That extra lack of tyre tread and grip from Nibbler, I think is going to help him here, especially on the exit of the corners. It's going to lap 34. I reckon we're going to get to see a lot of action. Plus, it definitely offers us a Toby now. These
guys are closing in on 2 cars in front of them. I see a Sauber and somebody else in front. I think that's Kevin Jacobs and Galactic Skull 2. So lap cars could come into this. Both going wide.
This could assist Chazza. If Nibbler slows down for traffic, it's going to close the gap for Chazza. And when it comes to DRS, he may have that extra bit of grip and distance to overtake Nibbler for P1. But it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds going through the straight here past the grid.
It's going to be intense. So here we go once again. Chazza will get DRS on his teammate. Now, both of them, just looking at the dashes quickly there, they both got similar levels of ERS. So both these guys running the same ERS deployment patterns. How crucial that could be coming out of turn 2 then.
He's got that grip, hasn't he? Look at that exit from Nibbler. He's got that extra bit of grip, really does help.
Yeah, and Chazza has to, rather than attacking, Chazza has to use his DRS to just gain the time he got back from the worst exit. But it's keeping him there. But Chazza goes, Nibbler does go a bit wide at that corner. That will help Chaz again a little bit. These guys are getting the super impressive thing. These guys are on 20 and 21 lap-old mediums, and they're gaining on the lap cars in front of them, who are on tyres that are 10 laps younger. Oh, is that Galactic Skull 2 off? That's Galactic Skull 2. Oh, is he going to let him through? Yes, he is.
Fair play to Galactic Skulls there. Nibbler and Chaz are going to look like hammer and tongs here in the last lap. Lap 34 here, ultimate lap.
Now, they're going to go on the final lap. They've only got one more car to lap, and that's going to be Kevin Jacobs. Ragnar sets the fastest lap of the day for a little bit of a consolation prize. Now, this could be crucial, because Nibbler, does he? Oh, I'm not sure. Nibbler might have got DRS from that lapped car. Didn't Nibbler get DRS? No, he didn't.
It looks like, has he not?
No DRS for Nibbler, so this is going to be Chazza's attempt. Is he going to send one up the inside of turn 1? No, he's going to hang back and try go for that second bite of the cherry. Who gets the better exit out of the two? It's Nibbler gets the better exit, but last opportunity potentially for Chazza. Anything? No. Nibbler hangs on. Now Chazza has to get creative. Unless Chazza can find something magic, it's Nibbler's to lose.
Yeah, I'm just going through the back of the pack. It looks like there's no real battles apart from Chazza and Nibbler for P1.
There's Lord John, about half a second behind Dougie Aframan. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Lord John's on much older tyres, though, so pretty impressive that he's caught Dougie Aframan the way he has. Yeah. But we will stick with the Ferraris for now. Yeah. I think it's Nibbler's to use. Yeah, it looked like he picked up damage on the start. I think I saw a bit of carbon fibre come off on the start. I think he just clipped someone. But coming around into the final sector for the final time, Chazza leads. We have yellow flags. Is that Murcielago crashing? Did Murcielago just crash on the final lap of the race and DNF? Heartbreak for the Red Bull. Complete 35 laps of this grueling sweat fest of a track, only to DNF. But it's going to be Nibbler who wins in round 12 of the NORL. And he gets a 5-second penalty. So Chazza wins. He didn't serve his penalty. Wow. Chazza wins the round 12 of the NORL F1 series because Nibbler didn't serve that speeding in the pit lane penalty. And it is a Ferrari 1-2. Nibbler will be heartbroken. Nibbler wins.
I think we forgot about that. We got sucked into the action here, that battle for P1, and we completely forgot.
Lordjord has just been disqualified from the session for not switching tyre compounds.
Oh, dearie me. It has happened to Lordjord a couple of times this season where he's had issues with his tyre management, and I think that's losing him a lot of points on the championship leaderboard. But,
Ragnar on the final laps. Sorry to cut you off. Ragnar on the final lap has just overtaken Anil Tanovic for P5. What could have been, he comes back and takes 5th away from Anil.
Oh, wow. Just caught a glimpse of the overtake there as well. You know what, that's what Ragnar deserves. He got some decent points there. It could have been P3, but P5, not bad at all.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Then Chazza extends his championship lead over Nibbler after another win here today. This time it was decided by penalties. Nibbler will be a little bit niffed with that, I imagine, but he needs to practice his pit lane entries. He pushes it to the limit, Nibbler, and so many times it goes wrong for him. So he really needs to practice them a bit more and make sure, or just be a bit more cautious, because 5 seconds was all the difference today. And it is Chazza who takes a win, extends his championship gap by about 7 points. Good effort by Chazza, and we will get ready for round 13. But
Toby, great race. A lot of events taking place there. But one thing I've noticed today, and especially the last few weeks, tyre management and pit lanes, penalties, things like that, is playing a big part in the championship at the moment. I think drivers have got to be a little bit more aware of their strategies and especially pick up these penalty points as well.
And that's just one of the many tools Ferrari has that keeps winning them these races, is they put in more hours than anybody else. They deserve to be where they are because they practice more. They practice their pace, they practice their laps, they practice their strategies. Whereas most of the guys I know in this league just show up an hour before the race, run some laps on time trial to warm up and go into it. These guys put in a full 100% race minimum before each weekend. They're at the top because they work to be at the top.
Toby, I completely agree with you there. It's that saying, practice makes perfect. The more practice you put in, the more results you can see out there on the track. And that's the difference between Chazza and Nibbler and the rest of the pack. They put that time, put that practice in, and it's paying off.
It definitely is, and it paid off more for Chazza today with an extension to his championship lead. Join us next time for round 13 of the NORL FIA Formula 1 Championship. FIA GT3 is finished now. You can't catch us on Wednesdays anymore, but you can catch us next Sunday at the same time. It might not be same time. I'll have to clarify, but we might be taking a break for the Christmas holidays. So either see you next Sunday or the Sunday after that, and we'll have to see if Nibbler can start working at getting that championship gap to his teammate back under control. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, we'll see you then.